Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Miss Harland.
I'm very excited this morning because we have a Shrewsbury House old boy. We call them shobs. So when you move on from this school, you become a shob. And Carey Tan was with us till the end of year 4, and then his family moved to a different part of the country. So he's been at school somewhere else, but he's been a shob, and he's come back to tell us about his rather exciting journey since we last saw him. So Carey, I'll hand straight over to you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Carey, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my journey in music. So I'm a Year 8 boarding pupil, and I'm joining Eton College in September as a King Scholar and Music Scholar. I used to be a student in Shrewsbury House before moving to Buckinghamshire. I'm a composer and multi-instrumentalist and began composing when I was 6. Today I want to share to all of you my story, how music has shaped my learning, and why music supports healthy and balanced development. So, to start, I want to say thank you to all of you. My musical interests deepened at Shrewsbury. Supportive teachers and an inspiring environment helped me grow. I want to say a sincere thank you to Shrewsbury for shaping my musical journey. This lists my musical credentials. In year 4, just after I moved to Buckinghamshire, I received the piano grade 8 distinction and the piano AIS and merit. Then in year 5 and year 6, I received the drums grade 8 and the composition grade 8. And then in year 7, I received the composition ALCM diploma, which is a university level qualification, and the combined percussion grade 8. And then finally in year 8, this year I received the music theory grade 8 distinction and the organ grade 8 distinction. I've written 4 large-scale symphonic works in total, including 1 piano concerto, and I've won 12 international prizes. I'll elaborate on that in one of the following slides. These are some of my themes: nature, technology, and AI, exploration, and conflict. I perform in all of my own works with piano and percussion. These are some of my awards listed above. In total, I've won 12 of them. And these are my international performances throughout the past few years. I performed in Vienna and Arad for a tour last year, and then in last year in November in Berlin Philharmonic, and then when I was quite young in the Shenzhen Guangming Cultural and Arts Center. This is my performance in Vienna. This is the one in Berlin. There were 2,000 people coming to the performance. This was my one in Arad, again as a tour with the Vienna one. And then this was my one in Shenzhen. So I'm going to introduce you to my 2026 concert season. So first, on the 21st of June, I'm performing here in London with the London City Philharmonic with all of my 4 symphonic works. Later on, I'll be performing the China National Opera House and the Atrium Concert Hall. Then I'll be returning to Romania and Vienna for the same tour later on in August. And finally, I'll be performing with the Philharmonia Orchestra in Cadogan Hall in September. Just to mention, I think I'm the youngest composer under 30 to have their works accepted by both the Philharmonia Orchestra and the China National Opera House Orchestra. Now I'm going to talk to you about what music has changed me into. When I first started music, it wasn't just something I did after school. Music was a way to express ideas and feelings, well, that couldn't be explained in words as clearly. Music gave me another language. When I started composing, well, it wasn't just notes. It was structure, patterns in motion. It could help us connect with the outside world more clearly and more deeply. It wasn't just a hobby, but it was a way to, again, connect with the world, connect with ourselves. So for me, music did not only train my ears or my fingers, it trained my mind. This is what music has built in me. It's given me a sharper mind when you're practicing piano, and you need to go through all of the fingerings. You need to look at complex phrases one by one, step by step. It tests focus, memory, and pattern recognition. Music has also given me a stronger character. Having another language means having more ways to express oneself. So it's given me discipline, patience, and resilience. And finally, it's given me a more confident voice. Having performed on all of those stages, well, it's given me a better form of expression, emotion, and communication. And also, well, I feel less nervous when I'm in front of crowds. Music has actually made my academic work stronger. Music indeed, it takes literal time away, but it actually trains the same skills as academics. In science, we need analytical thinking and patterns. In music, one of the most important aspects is, in symphonic works, are recapitulations. That's typical pattern recognition, and with it, you need to analyze certain melodies, phrases to understand the music more deeply. In maths, well, time signatures, rhythms, it's just like for me, it's just like a big maths problem. And if you look at some of Messiaen's music, you can see clearly how he incorporates rhythmic structures to evoke meaning. In English, a musical phrase is just like a well-written sentence. A whole symphony is just like a book. They're both art. Music helps with structure, rhythm, and expression. And finally, in revision, music allows lots of focus, memory, and discipline, as said before, from practicing. In the Eton King Scholarship exam, I achieved 5 A stars. Composition also builds creativity, and also character. Each piece starts with a question, not an answer, and through the compositional process, well, we solve that. We answer that question, and well, find out the deep meaning to each piece. It teaches me to turn imagination into clear musical ideas. For example, in one of my symphonies, I only started with 4 singular chords, but transformed that into a 20-instrument, 18-minute work. And then it also discipline and responsibility. Composition doesn't just work like you do it once and then it's done. You need to have lots of very careful revisions and lots of commitment. I spend lots of time on composition. And then it also helps with emotional maturity. Again, we can understand ourselves, we can understand what's around us with depth. It isn't just about writing notes. It teaches us how to imagine, build, improve, and grow. Today I'm going to be performing Sahara Runner, the second movement of my original piano concerto number 1, The Explorers. This piece was inspired by my school geography teacher, who's a keen desert marathon runner. I hope you hear not only the notes, but the ideas behind them too. And this is my final message. You can visit my website, careytan.com, to learn more about my music at any time. You're warmly invited to join me at the Royal College of Music for my concert, Carey Tan Original Symphonic Works, on the 21st of June. So thank you, Shrewsbury House School, Mrs. Hubbard, and all of you.
I don't think I've ever heard assembly be so still and so silent and absorbed in what's being presented to them. You're a true inspiration to all of us. We have lots of musicians here and lots of aspiring musicians, people who might be taking up instruments for the first time. So I'm sure that you've really sparked some further passion in them to keep practicing and keep seeing it as another language. I did say that we'd have a couple of minutes at the end for questions. Does anyone have any questions for Carey? Staff as well, you can ask questions. Eric.
In year four, before my ARSM, I think I could fit in about 2 to 3 hours every day.
That's dedication, isn't it? Theo.
What sparked from the journey?
Well, what happened was, I started playing piano when I was 5 after hearing my brother started, and then I just got absorbed in what he played, and then after starting playing piano, I found my way into starting to learn drums, and then I started to improvise a few melodies and compose.
Jack.
What's your favourite instrument to play and then listen to?
Oh, that's a hard one. To play, and I think that would probably be the marimba. Despite the tricky 4-mallet techniques, the sound it produces is truly beautiful, and it's quite unique too. It contrasts with classical instruments like the piano or the organ.
And to listen to, what do you enjoy?
To listen to the marimba too.
Oh, both.
Yes.
Yes. Bruni, you had a question.
When was your first concert?
When
My
was your
first concert? It depends. Does it include school concerts?
The very first? The very first.
The very first. Probably. I think I had a concert when I was 6 in my school before Shrewsbury House. But my first proper concert was when I was 11, I think, in the Shenzhen Guanmin Art and Cultural Centre as displayed there.
Mm. And Carey, you're 12.
Yes, I'm 12.
12. Okay. Just to put that in perspective. Leo.
How many instruments do you play?
I currently play piano, organ, marimba, timpani, and drums. So 5.
So far.
What instruments do you recommend us to play?
To start off with, I think the violin would do well as a starting instrument, or the piano, because they're both quite popular instruments, and they're both not too hard to learn, but also act as a little bit of a challenge. So I think the violin and the piano would do well.
Boys, just raise your hand if you already learned piano or violin. Okay,
That's
so
a lot of you.
That's a good start, isn't it? Right, hands down. Kian, you had a question. A bit louder.
What did you feel like in the concert?
In the concert, well, before the concert, I felt a bit nervous, but then when I went on the stage, I got absorbed into the music, and kind of the nerves all just went.
That's lovely to hear.
I felt quite.
You're comfortable.
And, yes. Comfortable.
Section.
How does it feel to be up on those big stages with the huge crowd watching you?
It feels at first a bit daunting, but then afterwards it feels. Well, after you get into the atmosphere, it actually feels very exciting. With all of the big crowds clapping and listening to your music, it's great. I absolutely
You enjoy
love
that?
it. Yes.
Does it motivate you to keep on composing?
Yes. My piano concerto was actually inspired by my concert in Shenzhen.
Eddie.
some concerts do you play an instrument and for some you compose?
Oh, for all of them up to now, like the big ones, all of them, my own pieces are played, and I play marimba or piano alongside.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? Ronan.
From what stage, like, and where would you most like to play?
Where would I most like to I'm quite excited to perform in Cadogan Hall this September, and yeah, it's probably the place I would most like to perform actually.
And it's going to happen. Not
Yes,
very long
it's going to
away.
happen,
It's
yeah.
going to happen. Leo.
What's your favourite piece that you've performed so far?
Ooh, that I've performed so far. Probably my piano concerto, and I've performed that 3 times already on big stages, and I'm really into the music.
Brilliant. And staff, do you have any questions? We've let all of the boys have the questions so far. Madam Jehan.
When you compose, when do you know that your piece is finished and ready to be played? And how do you visualize it? Do you have colors when you compose? What are the different components?
So, for your first question, in reality, compositions are never actually finished. I finished my Symphony No. 2 about a year ago, but I'm still making changes to it. You need commitment and patience to carry on composing and carry on making changes so that it's the best it can be at every performance, even if that means it's different. And you also about visualization. Yes, sometimes when I compose, I do visualize a scene in my head and sometimes fit in some background music that can accompany it well, and then I remember that music and I write it down.
Fantastic. Dr. Buckingham.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for being here to inspire the boys. You're in a position now where you're living your dream. And no doubt you would have faced challenges along the way. Every single boy in this room will have their own dreams, and they will face their own challenges. What would your advice be to them in terms of how to face those challenges and eventually overcome them?
Well, just when you face a challenge, remember that it might not always be a challenge. For example, last year in my concerts in Arad and Vienna, the conductor gave me lots of pretty harsh advice on the parting and the instrumentation, and well, I kind of found that as a challenge. I was pretty young at that time, and but what happened was I learned from it. I took his advice and put it into my next pieces, and the challenge sort of became like motivation.
Dr. Buckingham, that's a fantastic question to end on, so thank you so much. I think, gentlemen, we haven't seen anything as special as this in a very long time. This deserves a standing ovation. Could you stand, please?